you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to Mason Studios on YouTube.
I'm coming right up the middle with everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Marty Grabstein.
Marty Grabstein.
Yeah.
Put your hands together. I never had any hands. Hi, Josh. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm making it. Me and Marty just met downstairs.
Do you have water, my friends? A water. Thank you.
Courage needs water. So how are you enjoying West Tennessee Comic-Con so far, sir?
Very nice. You know, these supposedly small Comic-Cons, when they are active and they are busy, it's like the most cool thing that I ever see, because it's really the heartland of people. I feel very low to the ground all of a sudden. I feel like you people are taller than me now.
It's just an illusion. It's a floor illusion. That's what it is. Yeah.
By the way, did we have an earthquake earlier? Thanks.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Did we have an earthquake?
You're in a zone.
Yeah. It could have been that, or it could have been just the sheer number of people that are here walking around, stomping around, making the ground shake. Yeah.
This is like the heartland. People are really appreciating this, and you feel the energy of people appreciating being here, you know?
Oh, yeah. Now, I've been all over the country, and I don't think you'll find a nicer group of people than the people we have here in West Tennessee. They're all very nice.
I was in Chattanooga 2 weeks ago, actually, and they were pretty nice people, too. Even though it's not West Tennessee.
Tennessee in general. Tennessee in general is nice. Yeah. So here's what we'll do, guys. We're going to get to your guys' questions here in just a moment. So I want you to kind of go ahead and be thinking about what types of questions you want to ask Mr. Marty up here. So get those wheels turning, thinking about what questions you got. But in the meantime, I do have to start with one of the more obvious questions. I'm lifelong Courage the Cowardly Dog fan. Oh, yes, sir, absolutely. I grew up right in that golden age era of Cartoon Network when it was like Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog. So that was like that. You had a hand in raising me, sir. You may not realize that, but it's so.
You turned out pretty good.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, the things I do for love. So yeah, no, I loved Courage, and you know, for a cartoon, it had some pretty scary moments in it that you know, maybe a little scary for some kids. So did you know when y'all were making that show that you were making like a masterpiece that was kind of in this golden age of animation back then?
I knew it was really good. I mean, I thought it was really good, unusual. I thought it was really an unusual bit of work, you know. And I knew the creator, John Dilworth, is a kind of a genius madman. And I knew he created something really cool, you know, and I was really excited to be a part of it. I had no idea the far-reaching effects of the show and the emotional impact that a show has on so many people. I knew it was sometimes scary, sometimes funny, an homage to the old cartoons, but I don't think I understood what was in plain sight, actually. The message of this cartoon of the little dog who is really a small creature, right? So terrified of everything he sees, right? And so flawed in his neurosis, and somehow he can reach down into himself when the chips are down, and the 11th hour is able to save the people he loves. So that message to people who are raised in an area of, you know, difficulties of the world we live in, tension and anxiety is so filled with that. People that are, you know, grew up in this area were, you know, comforted by and inspired by this little dog who was afraid of everything and found his bravery in the midst of all that. So I didn't have any the depth of that message, what was actually happening there. So pretty cool.
But you're fully aware now, right? You're aware of how much love there is for that character.
Fully aware of that, and that sometimes nobody's cried yet today. I have a lot of people who cry when they see me to talk about you really got me. It meant a lot. I watched it with my grandmother, and I was bullied when I was a kid, all of these things I remember, and courage, comforting them, emotions, So that is something that always blows me away.
Yeah, no, I think it brings out the kid in all of us when we see people like you that played these characters that we really loved. You may not know this, you and I almost met at Pensacon earlier this year. I think you were on the other side of the room and you had a long line, and I heard you do the voice of Courage in the distance, and I immediately reverted to being like an 8-year-old, and I was like, "It's Courage over there," Yeah. So, can you maybe walk us through real quick how you got cast in the role?
So a friend of mine who I hadn't spoken to in almost 5 years gives me a call out of the blue, and she said, "Marty, are you still acting?" And I said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Good, because I'm working for this guy, John Dilworth, who's casting for a new cartoon series, Courage the Cowardly Dog. And the lead character of Courage, he's listened to every voice actor in the city, like over 200 people, and couldn't arrive at a decision on how this character should sound. And at this rate, he's driving me crazy. So I figured I'm going to reach out to my friends and maybe have better luck. Imagine if she was not thinking out of the box, what would have happened, Maybe Rob Paulson would have gotten a job.
Nobody can be Courage.
Cummings, those guys.
So
I would have broken my heart.
Speaking of Jim Cummings, I believe you were on his podcast recently, weren't you? What was that experience like getting to meet him?
That's wonderful. We've become quite friendly, over the years, seeing one another over the last few years, And he's such a special kind of guy, Jim Cummings, because he really is, he's so smart, he's so aware, and even though he appears a tad crusty sometimes, and that's part of his humor, he's a really very compassionate man and a lot of sensitivity there. So it was great I was feeling like basking in the joy of being in the shadow of this wonderful legend in the voice actor area.
Yeah, no, Jim Cummings seems like a really, really good guy. When you were doing the voice of Courage, was it more scripted what you were doing, or did they give you a little more leeway with doing some of the vocal expressions and things that you did with the character?
The vocal expression, totally me. They didn't know how it's supposed to happen. Then how do you say, the thing, they had a note, it's what Courage is trying to explain to Muriel what is happening, this monster is happening, and he does it in gibberish. So I kind of said, so it seems they loved it. How do you describe somebody to do that? Either they do it or they don't do it,
Yeah, everyone in here just reverted to being their childhood self when they were watching Courage back in the
What did I do? What did I do?
Well, all right,
Mr. McFeely! Look at a round of applause.
Round of applause.
Legend over there, Mr. McFeely. Give a Newell. See you downstairs.
We just got legends walking around everywhere in this building today. So, all right, guys, we're going to turn it over to you guys. So what we'll do is I'll
Sorry to turn it over to you.
And that's right, starting to. So just put your hands in there if you got any questions, and I'll come around and we'll get those questions out.
All right, baby. You don't mind I call you baby, do you?
You can call me whatever you like, sir.
Yes. Do you believe the theory that Courage is just imagining everything, like Muriel and Eustace can't take him out for walks, so he just imagines the monsters and they're really just normal people, and the outdoors are just, the out and nowhere is just a regular house?
That's a lot that you're answering, I believe. So the answer is, I believe in that explanation is as good as any explanation about what's going on. Because indeed, my friend, what's your name?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. So when you view Courage, it's a cartoon. Would you enter that it is a piece of art? You believe that, right? A cartoon is a piece of art, like the painting is a piece of art. Of music, it's a piece of art. So when you see this painting and you interpret what is the painting is saying for you, right? And sometimes that painting might mean something different to you versus what it means to you, right? And that's the beauty of art, that it can be interpreted. So it is relevant whether it's true or not, which is relevant that it did enough good, that show affected people just enough to stimulate their imagination that might create a story about offering that's what's happening. So my answer is, it's irrelevant whether I believe it or not. I'm just happy somebody thought of it, because it's actually continuing to further the mythology of this cool show that I was so lucky to be a part of.
Any other questions, guys? Get somebody, I see somebody up here. I'll grab her first. Yes, ma'am. What's your question?
Hi, I remember talking to you earlier,
Yes.
and my question...
I heard you from a long
Yeah.
way away. Yeah.
My question was, what's your favorite Courage the Cowardly Dog episode?
I have a few. I mean, I have to say, in a way, Freaky Fred, because it's so kind of disturbing and kind of literary. It has a literary sound to it. The narration and the music, calliope music a little bit, so which creates a kind of discomfort and brilliance of it. But I also have a few others I certainly loved. It seems to be most people's favorite, King Ramses' Curse, the famous Return the Slab or Suffer My Curse episode. I also like The Demon in the Mattress because I'm a big Exorcist fan. So it's Miriam being possessed by the devil was kind of a cool thing to see. And of course, my favorite of all of them is the first episode, The Shadow of Courage, because after all, it was the first episode. So I always associate it with the first moment I walked into that recording booth.
I think we had a question over here. Yes, sir.
Did you have a favorite sound Courage would make as a response to something?
Favorite sound?
Favorite sound? It's funny, I'm thinking of the sound. If I told my favorite line that he has, it would be, I have a feeling something bad is going to happen. Kind of like that one. But sound-wise, I have to say, it's got to be what I just did before. That one alone, because it's so primal, you know.
All right, who else? Anybody else got a question back here? Any other hands up? Yes, sir.
I know that there was a Scooby-Doo movie a couple years ago that Courage was in.
Yes,
Is there
indeed.
any other universe you'd like to see Courage in?
Oh, any other universes would I like to see Courage in? That's easy for me. Probably the leading universe. It's a good universe, a very good universe. Not my all-time favorite universe. My all-time favorite universe is the Looney Tunes universe. And Bugs Bunny and, you know, Daffy Duck and those characters, right? But it would appear that Courage is meant to be associated with the Hanna-Barbera universe, I believe. Somehow Yogi Bear or absolutely Quick Draw McGraw, but actually the main Hanna-Barbera character that I believe would be a really great crossover character to do is Huckleberry Hound. Huckleberry Hound and Courage is an amazing combination because Huckleberry Hound is oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling, Clementine. And its eyes are almost closing. It's so, you know, redefining the term chill, right? And somehow Courage and craziness, the combination of those two would be particularly kind of cool, I feel.
All right, great question. Who else? Anybody else got one? Yes, sir, right up here.
After that first season, a decision looks like it was made that you were doing too much talking. How did you feel about that going forward?
I was so upset about that. I was so upset about it because first of all, I have a couple of reasons. Number one, my actor's ego suffered. You know, you take the lines away from an actor, it seems like I knew because they assured me they loved what I was doing. And I know that people loved it. The feedback they got, but they loved the character that I'm creating. But naturally, my ego would say, but why are you taking away my lines? I was told they made a decision that if they're listening to certain focus groups, which are very dangerous sometimes, these focus groups, that they put together a cross-section of people to show them, and based on their reactions, make decisions based on that. They base their reaction on the fact that most of the main big responses were from my screams, on my verbal gesticulations. So what they tended to say, they didn't have a lot of much reaction when they did the things I do for love and the things like that. So they lead to a conclusion that just because people are sitting back and watching it, you know, and enjoying it without laughing, it's not, I'll save you, Muriel. It's not funny, and then not definitely really furthering the story at all, because you know he's going to save Muriel, so why are we saying, I'll save you, Muriel? Because that's the way the character talked. So rather than just give credit to the fact that this is the character that all of those people love, that gave you a second season. Your second season happened based on people's positive reaction to the show. So it was faulty thinking, in my opinion. But what it did do it actually forced me to make some decisions, really throw myself into creating the same character minus most of the lines. So it's an interesting challenge for me as an actor. So it worked out great, but it's so funny. You come to these Comic-Cons, everybody wants to hear me say Muriel, I say, what did I do? What did I do? It's the things I do for the people love the lines. So if they were able to see forward into the future, maybe they wouldn't have cut back so much of the lines. I don't know, you know.
All right, who next? Anybody else got a question? Yeah, Link's got a question right here.
What's the funniest thing you think Courage has ever done?
The funniest thing
Funniest thing Courage has ever done.
in the show, I mean, I love that he, you know, when he's somehow, I forget what it is that he does that creates him completely falling apart, like every part of it, it's like it becomes risen and cracks and all of this, it's everything just falls apart, and all you have left is eye and the tongue or something. So that's all. I always laughed a lot from that visual image.
All right, who next? Anybody else? Yes, sir. I see some hands up here. Y'all gonna make me get all my cardio in today.
Thank you. So, I don't know if this was true or not, but for some reason, I think I saw that they, well, actually, thanks to my dad here, he said that they might be doing a Courage the Cowardly Dog movie, and if you know, if for some reason they keep it right, like the cartoon, keep it right, would you reprise the role as Courage in a big live-action-ish debut?
Oh, you mean live action? You're talking about live action?
Well, I mean,
When you heard about the movie?
well, I mean, hey, Dad, you did say it was somewhat live-action, right?
I read something.
They've been talking about that for years, bringing back Courage, and they even put their money where their mouth is a little bit. They did an episode called incorporating CGI, and called The Fog of Courage. It was a one shot. You can look at it on YouTube, but it's okay. It's not bad. I'm good. But it didn't look quite right in 3D somehow. It looked a little bit strange in a way. And also at one point that we're going to do this prequel to Courage called Before Courage, which is a weird title because if Before Courage, how did Courage there? It's a strange title. But anyway, so it was going to be Courage as a really young being. So they made me 20 years later and older do a voice that should be 20 years younger than the original voice I did. It's a I was good. All the things I do for love. I've been doing. You're squeaking. No, it was so hard for me to give an exact performance. So anyway, that never happened. But regarding what Dad maybe saw, did you see a visual image of that? They showed that they were going to be doing the live action version of actually they unveiled an image of it. It's nonsense. It's AI or something, because there's nothing being done right now regarding a new Courage. I would have heard about it. Think about it. I'm pretty cheap. They can have me for a song, you know, and try to get somebody who, you know, trying to get a big star to do the voice of Courage when so few lines are being employed. Who's gonna do it? Brad Pitt? Who?
They would try to get Chris Pratt, but you know you're way, way better than Chris
They were
Pratt.
talking about Chris Pratt, I think.
Oh no one can replace you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
I think you had a question.
Yeah. Out of all the creatures and monsters, which one do you think is the scariest?
I have to say, I mean, still Freaky Fred is the scariest, but I also found, again, the demon in the mattress was really disconcerting, you know, because it's the devil. What's more scary than the devil, right? But I mean, I guess Freaky Fred, because it's very disconcerting, though. Those weird, didn't speak above like this, very smoothly talking. Naughty, you know, they're very smooth, you know, very, very weird.
Anybody else? Yes, sir. This young man right here.
One more thing. On the lines of that movie, there is a new movie coming out that is like Courage. It's coming out on October 11th. It's called Good Boy.
I heard about that. It's similar sentiments as Courage about the dog. I heard about that. I want to come to check that out. That can only help the Courage cause, right?
I was just wanting your opinion on it.
I haven't actually read enough to venture a real opinion, or only that I'm happy that anything which makes people think about Courage is good for me. You know, it's good for the brand. And by the way, people do know about the Courage Scooby-Doo movie, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, everybody knows about that, right? Yeah.
Some people did not know about it because they didn't promote it great. But over the years, since 2021, when it came out, more and more people are hearing about it. So, you know.
All right. Who else? Anybody else? I think you first, sir.
Hey, I was wondering, what would be your favorite Cartoon Network show besides Courage?
Favorite Cartoon Network show besides Courage?
I suppose I have to say Eddie.
Round of applause for Eddie and Eddie, yeah.
So it's the comedy aspect of it. It's very funny. But Johnny Bravo was great. Dexter was great. My manager's trying to package a tour of me, Dexter with the Candy Milo and Jeff Bennett and Johnny Bravo, the three of us, in a Cartoon Network reunion tour. So trying to package that. But your mouth, my mouth to God's ears. Have that happen. It'd be great.
That's like the Avengers teaming up together, you know?
Cool, right?
All the best folks together, yeah. I think, Link, did you have a question?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think Courage loves Eustace?
I believe he loves Eustace more than you would think. I wouldn't give it a 9, but I would give Courage's love for Eustace somewhere between 5 and a 6. Because without Eustace, he doesn't have a roof over his head. Without Eustace, Muriel would not been able to kind of have the time to be able to walk around and find this cute little dog in an alleyway and let's adopt. She would be worrying about where her next meal was coming from. So unfortunately, thank God, Muriel was able to eat. And clearly, you tell that she eats pretty good, actually. I would say so in general. And Courage eats pretty good. And we eat because of the farmer, you know. So I think Courage knows, the way many dogs know, even people that are abusive to some of these dogs, the dogs sometimes love them anyway because they know the allegiance they owe to this person in some way, right? Interesting. Ooh, I got really weird with that one.
Who else? Somebody else got a question? Yes, sir.
Could you tell me what your emotions were the last time, on the last episode, maybe what you were feeling?
I am very sad, you know. And, you know, not only the discontinuation of the sweet paycheck, but somehow this really cool unfolding of these new episodes of this cool cartoon series that was privy to be part of made me feel quite sad. But to be fair, I never knew what it was like in the day and age of, you know, I had to say in the 1980s to the 90s and on, before, you know, the streaming stuff happened, it became a lot of the pay-per-view stuff. There was Courage was always running. There was always running a certain amount on Cartoon Network and Boomerang, you know, things like that. So it was always out. So to me, I never thought it was gone. So it always was around. I wasn't recording any new ones, but I felt great that it was still alive, and it's definitely didn't anticipate this happening. You know, where I am on a panel, you know, Comic-Con, you know, and it's amazing. I didn't know there was anywhere close to something like that sort of staying power with it, you know.
Have you heard any rumblings of them potentially bringing the TV show back for like new episodes or anything?
Like I said, we did it a couple of times, you know. The rumblings happen. It's like the same rumbling that I was feeling earlier today with the earthquake. It's here again and gone a minute later.
Well, I think we need more Courage episodes. You guys agree, right? We need more Courage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I see a hand back here. Yes, sir.
Hey there. I was wondering, so Courage speaks a lot through, like, I don't know how you would word it, but how was it written on the page or was it improvised?
You mean the lines?
No, the
No, I just came up. What happened on the page? They would first started it like, ooh, ah, like they didn't know how to write it. So they gave it to me to interpret it. A frantic courage of babbling. And then after a while, they stopped saying that because they knew I know. So all the direction is courage babble. I know what that means. So they want me to do some of that stuff, you know. But basically, it was all improvised, you know, from me. The sounds themselves were all improvised.
All right, anybody else? Link's got another question.
Next question. I heard that the mask that Eustace uses to scare Courage was originally going to be like a shotgun. Is that true?
Where did what?
So he heard that the original mask that Eustace used to scare Courage was originally going to be a shotgun. Was wondering if that was true.
I never heard of that, and I don't even know what would it be. It was shotgun. What would they be doing? I don't know.
That probably wouldn't go past the censors very well for a kid's show.
Especially today.
Yeah. All right, anyone else? Did I miss anybody back here? Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna ask, what is Courage's favorite thing about Muriel?
Her nurturing, her kindness. She knows what love is.
Hey there. I was going to ask, so the Courage Babble stuff, whenever you improvise that from week to week, how was it difficult to come up with more original stuff for it to keep it funny and fresh for you?
Yeah, I would try to, I would make it a little bit longer because I would build in giving them some choices, right? So they're gonna have that recording and they take away what they don't want to hear anymore. So I definitely would try to make it fresh and make a little bit different whenever I would do it, but mainly the same. The sameness is happening because that's what they want to hear. The same thing, They want what gives them a kick. So when you guys hear me do that, you get a kick out of hearing me do that. So they want me to do that, and I do, but sometimes did mention that, and it's true, I might try to slightly alter it just to put in something fresh for me personally.
Probably got enough time for maybe 2 more questions. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think is the most scariest event or situation that Courage has been in? Out of all the monsters and things that you deal with, what's the scariest one?
I think probably the Tower of Dr. Zalos, right? Because that looks very dark. All of the, he's prisoner in this castle, and the unhappiness is the way of life, and depression and unhappiness and lack of joy is maybe one of the most destructive things a society can ever have as a weapon to its people, making them unhappy like that.
All right, yes, right here.
You said that you liked the mattress episode because it was kind of a play off of The Exorcism.
Yes.
Is there any other horror movie that you would think that Courage would combine with, like Jason or something?
A horror movie that Courage would, combine with nicely.
Like integrate with, I guess.
Integrate with nicely. That's a good question.
He could take on Freddy Krueger.
What?
He could take on Freddy Krueger. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Freddy is just too invincible to have Courage beat him. It's really very. I would be thinking, possibly a little bit of Michael Myers action with Courage, because of how slowly he moves. And Courage, creating all this stuff what was happening to him, and maybe some walls falling on Michael Myers. He's gonna return anyway. Whatever happened to Michael Myers, there's no keeping him down.
All right, Mr. Marty, well, can you let everybody know before we get you out of here where they can follow you at on social media?
Just mainly Instagram. I have Instagram and TikTok. I also have Facebook, but I think the more interactive part of my existence is through Instagram. So please feel free to do that. Check out my TikTok, and keep in touch.
Absolutely. Everyone put your hands together for Mr. Marty Grabstein, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.